Sticking with the Chicago theme, I know the flu game was an imperative event for you. Do you have your own version of a flu game?
I don't drink anymore, but I had a lot of Irish flus on those Sunday morning Del Mar shows I did. I used to say I was the best broadcaster with the hangover this side of Pat Summerall. But I don't have, I was at the flu game in Salt Lake City. My brother snuck me in. It was my brother Eugene. I'm the youngest of a large family, a lot of older siblings. My brother Eugene, though, is one of you want to talk about the gift of gab and being able to talk. I mean, he, to quote Tommy Boy, he could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves, right? He could talk a cat off a fish truck. We got into the flu game. We had a friend of ours, Tom Finch, who had 2 press passes, but he was already in the Delta Center. So I'm with my brother. I'm like, I think I'm 19 or 20 at the time. And we drive up. He's got one of those old brick cell phones. It didn't even work. I don't even think it had service. And he had a leather briefcase. And so he had me carrying the briefcase like I was his assistant. And we parked the car like whatever. And we walked right up to, there's this chain link fence. He goes, look for the most police you can see. I'm like, well, what about over there? So we walk up to a chain link fence. He walks up to the cop. He pretends like he's on the phone. And he puts his phone on his chest. And he goes to the cop. He goes, I need to get to the NBC truck like right now. Can you tell me how the guy's like, yeah, come on. They open the fence and we walk in. We walk through. He's like, thank you very much. The cop walks us in. We walk into the Delta Center. We come out of the tunnel and onto the floor while the Bulls are in their layup line before the game starts. And he's like, hey, can you see Finch? And Tom is like sitting in the 4th row. And he's like, hey, over here. So we walk over and we get our press passes. They sit down there and he sends me up to the press box. So I'm like some 19-year-old kid. I'm like, how did we just do that? It was the most cool thing I've ever seen in my life. Like we just talked our way into game 5 of the NBA Finals. It was just unbelievable. So that was how I saw the Michael Jordan flu game.
I'm more impressed that you just found your way in than, I mean, not necessarily the flu game, but that's pretty impressive. And you're right. I feel like it's just like an aura you have about yourself where they're like, this guy obviously he's important. Let's let them in. I love that.